killing of our brother, the young brother, Airman Fortson, by a Florida sheriff was a modern day American lynching, and I can prove it. All right, everybody, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. The name of this channel is The African Times, and I'm Thomas. All right, we're going to jump right in. We're continuing our coverage, our look into the death of this young brother for many reasons important to us. During this video, I got to warn you right now, there are going to be images in this video that are not intended for children, so do not show this video to children. Use your viewer discretion. You're going to see images that are shocking, images that may not be suitable, again, for young people. So if you do not want young people to see the images that are going to be shown in this video, you stop looking at it now, change the channel. All right, you've been warned. Viewer discretion is advised. Okay, first we're going to jump right in. We're talking about the killing, the murder, the assassination, the elimination of our good brother Airman Fortson. So first, to the parents, to the family, to the friends of this young man, nothing in this video, or nothing that in any of the videos that I do about this situation is intended in any way to be harmful to you, to his reputation, to him, to family and friends of this brother, but only to get some clarity and to help prevent this from happening to other people, other young men and women and children and elderly in the country where we all live and are told that it's our country. We're proud Americans. So please understand that. Now let's get right back to it. The purpose of this video is to show you that this was an execution. This wasn't a lynching, a modern day lynching, as I said in the beginning. Now I'm about to show you proof that what you saw, and we all saw it, there's no discrepancy to it, there's no mystery to it, there's even no debate to it. It was a modern day lynching. So we're going to dig in and kind of show you that it was a clear and obvious murder that took place. But this murder is not new. It's not something that we should all be surprised at, particularly now, because it's been an ongoing series of videos and, more and more videos of this situation or that situation involving a W officer and an unarmed black person, black male. We all know it, and everybody knows it. So that's pretty clear. But there's a debate. Often in these situations, there's a debate where you have a group of people who look like you and me, who can clearly see that this situation, these incidents, that it's clear and obvious that murder was taking place. Murder by a policeman doing his police work. This is what we're always told. But in actuality, what if these were not just lack of training, they need to have better training, and, there was a threat. What if these things were just simply a part of policy, a part of actual training? This is how you handle these situations. What if these things were actually just a part of what is the normal status quo? Well, during modern times, this can be kind of unclear. You're not really sure. You get all of the propaganda, the news, the narrative, all of these things work together to kind of paint this picture to give you a sense of uncertainty, a sense of uncertainty. But if we look carefully in history, history will tell you without question by their own acknowledgement that maybe these things aren't just lack of training, some random individual. Uh, Maybe there's a group of people who want to see these things. Maybe there is a group of people who have a desire to see these things both for political purposes, for economic purposes, and just simply for the thrill of being able to say and show and provide entertainment to them and people that look like them in such a way that they feel entertained, rewarded. Now, don't take my word for it. We're going to show you because sometimes history can help us understand what's actually happening, what's going on. So let's take a look at. I told you it was a modern day lynching. Let's take a look at what a modern day lynch, what an older lynching is. Let's take a look at lynchings that took place before. Okay, so when we go through lynchings, a quick Google search, if you do it, you just look up lynchings. Here's a very surprising thing that you're going to encounter. You're going to first see that you don't have to say lynching of black people. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is put in lynching and it's going to come up pictures and pictures. You can say images, pictures, whatever. You do that and you're going to get images of black people being killed, murdered, hung, burned, abused. Black people. So then what does that tell you about the word lynching? Is it a random word that includes an act that happens to all people? No. Google is these people's information source. They put the information in there along with others. They control what information is put in there. Webster's Dictionary, Cambridge Dictionary, Oxford Dictionary. These are these people's power, use of power to define terminology. And when you put in lynching, you're not going to see anything for the most part but murder, killing of black people. Now let me give you an example of, say, let's take a look at, to see whether I'm telling the truth. Let's look at some lynchings. Hold on. Okay, so you kind of get an idea that, like I said, lynching is really murder. It's not. You get this image in your mind of a rope around somebody's neck and they're hanging, but as you can see, it also involves burning, uh, torture in some way, burning, shooting. Yes, shooting. And we'll get to that later on. There's some interesting thing in history that you're going to see associated with the lynching. But lynching is just basically murder. Some of the most famous cases, and it's us, are hangings. Murder being carried out in a way that is terrorizing. Now remember, terror, what do we have now? It's the biggest thing, terrorism, terrorists. This is not new either. Let's look back and take a look at how things were characterized 100 or so, 140, 120 years ago. Let's take a look at that. Hold on. Now, as you see, it's it was referred to back then as terrorizing people or you know frightening people, and those people were people that looked like me and you. Back then, it had a political purpose. You want to restrict people from being in an area. You want to restrict them from coming to an area. For example, black people living in an area, if it's a large population of black people, you want to force them to stay in that area, don't leave that area, don't go to other areas. You terrorize them. You hang them as another area where you don't want them to be, so that if people want to come to that area, they see the hanging, and then they don't want to come. Or if people are planning on moving from someplace into an area, these people don't want them to come. They hang the people. They terrorize the people so that the word gets around, stay away from that area. And you know about it because you've heard. If you haven't, I'm going to tell you. But some of you have heard, sundown towns, don't go in these towns, don't be here after dark. Why? Because a group of people, and you can call them terrorists because that's what they used to call them back then. So, and they call them that now, terrorizing people. But who are the people doing this? Remember, when you put in a Google search, what shows up? What shows up is incidents of hangings and lynchings and murders and burnings of people that look like you and me by people that don't look like you and me. Now, remember, I told you it's political. Maybe you don't want people to come. Maybe you don't want people to vote. Maybe you don't want people to interact socially with the opposite sex, which is a common theme with these people. So let's continue on. Let's see. So we know that lynching is murder, and the most famous way that they do it is the hanging. But we know it's not only hanging, because what, you're burning people, you're shooting people, as you will see later on with another picture. But you're shooting people. You're doing all of these kind of things to terrorize the people. Okay, and you're doing it in a way to frighten people, and frighten what? A certain group of people, us, people that look like me and you. That's back then, 100 or so years ago. But what is happening now is it happening now? Well, you just saw the video of our brother. No threat, gun down, finger off the trigger, hand up. No threat. And he's shot, point blank range, visually looking at him 6 times. 6 times. We're going to get into that too. So what we know, that in America, lynching is usually done to a particular group, people that look like me and you, but even on their own Google, when you pull up all the pictures, it's usually carried out by people that don't look like me and you, W's. But it's not all W's, so for all of you good W's who consider yourself good W's, if you have never lynched anybody, then it's not for you. It's not talking about you. But there's a group among you. There's a group among you who are participating, have participated in these kind of activities. And that's where the political part comes in. We all are divided up in societies all over the world, in ruling class, elite class, business class, whatever you want to call it. Then you have the working class, the poor, the underclass, whatever you want to call it. Well, I want you to take a look at history now to kind of see who are and who were the people that were doing the lynching. Back then, who are they? Which group of people were they? We already know in America they were white people. It's them, it's not me. You can see it. I'm going to show you the video. Okay, so take a look at this. Okay. All right, so you see, as I told you, you see all them people, all of those people. This just again a Google search brings up only this type of documentation, these types of images. If there was this other group committing these acts against another group, it should come up somewhere in the Google search. But it only seems to come up with blacks being lynched, white people doing the lynching. Now, this is just their information. And again, brothers and sisters, you can't be afraid to tell them they aren't afraid. They actually are putting it up. Now, this has been going on for hundreds of years. So that you understand, I told you modern day lynching, because in the past there was lynching. You're going all the way back to 1800 and before then, but just in the context of this American problem, you see here. Take a look here, just so you see. Look at this. These are all of the lists of the papers that show articles, newspapers, what it is. Take a look at this. Okay, all right. Now, as you can see, many headlines about this kind of thing happening. Now, this would happen to black men or black women or black children. No crime had to be committed. It didn't have to be a crime. They would simply make up a crime. We all know, oh, something happened. I was robbed. I want you to understand that it really didn't have to be a crime. All a person had to do, a person who doesn't look like me and you, all they have to do is say that you committed a crime. Now, this is just like they're doing now. Whenever they kill somebody, lynch them publicly, there's a camera and we can all see it. Then what do they say? Well, I was afraid for my life. There's a reason. There's a justification. Well, he was threatening, or he didn't follow my commands, or in some cases, they're only giving you a reason for the public. But for them, in their minds, they know they don't. The person doesn't have to commit a crime. They'll just kill him. So look here. You just had to be black back then, 100 years ago, and now today, as you just saw our good brother. Don't ever forget. Gun down, pointed down, hand off the trigger. Gun pointed down, hand up. Don't forget that. All right, so look here so that you see a couple of reasons here. Just why they would just lynch, back then, a black man. Check this out. Okay. As you see, the brother was trying to get to a train. Maybe he was trying to get to work. Maybe he was, on his way to see his mother or father. Maybe he had a sick relative who was dying. He was trying to, but some reason he had to get to the train. He didn't want to miss the train. And he didn't have to have a reason. He just didn't want to miss the train. So he accidentally bumped into a W. And as a result of bumping into a W, they hung him and killed him. Lynched him. Modern day. Then the other one, this is the one that you see happening again. This is past lynching, but the modern day version of it is what you guys call Becky, or whatever you guys are calling these people who just pick out a black person and say, hey, this person is done something, or they go off on the black person, then blame the black person. Yeah. So back then, the brother just they hung him because they said, well, he annoyed a white girl, annoyed her. In other words, she's sitting there, and oh my God, this I can't believe I have to deal with this black person. And so she tells some of her W's, these remember, these people who fight for human rights, these people who are the freedoms and liberties and all men created equal and all that. Remember all that, right? Yeah, yeah, and the Bill of Rights, all that. Okay. She just said she's annoyed, and so they kill this person. So what I'm pointing out to you is that a crime isn't necessary. It's not necessary to kill a black person. They just do it, and this is what you're seeing now. We're still in the history, but you saw it the other day. 6 shots, modern day lynching. So let's continue on, just to give you an idea. So, okay, sometimes, as I told you before, the lynchings, they were political. You don't want a person to come in an area. Maybe there are too many blacks in it, concentrated in one area. You want them to get out. But they were also economic. Yeah, economic. As you know, we talked a little bit about our brothers talking about, oh, you gotta do this economics. You gotta hurt them in their pockets. Well, you could do that. You should have some economic plan in place. You should be prepared to function in a way economically to protect yourself. That is a weapon. It's a tool. They do that with sanctions, tariffs, taxes, imports, duty. All of that are forms of economic weaponry if you are going to engage in some economic warfare. But for us, back then, they did it for economic reasons. So let's take a look. I'll show you some of the actual articles. You already know about the famous Black Wall Street and all this. But look, these people are telling you openly themselves why they do it. Just take a look. Hold on. Okay, so as you can see, the issue to move us out, or if there was a situation where black people had been able to develop their communities and develop some economic activity, then that was a problem for some people. And because it was a problem for some people, they lynched black people. They lynched them symbolically as to suggest to the people, don't do this again. If you behave this way, you're going to have consequences. You remain in your place. You remain in the areas where we tell you to. And to let you know, even if you become a banker, you become a leader in the community, a politician, it makes no difference. You're still who we say you are. And as a result, we will punish you by lynching, so that we send the message to all of you other people that this is the environment you're in, and don't ever forget who's in charge. And this is what they were doing back then, and this is what they're doing now. There's no difference. So let's look here. Now, I keep talking. I say they. They're doing it now. Well, who are they? I mentioned to you a little while ago. Now, let me show you so that you understand. Let's take a look at these next set of pictures, because, again, for the W's, we know it's not all of you. Of course, it's not all of you. It's never going to be all of you. That's not the point. You are victims of your own hypocrisy. The people. First, let's be clear about something. When you people who you call yourselves Americans, and this is not just W's, this is you black people, Asians and Arabs and everybody, all of you, I used to do it too. Well, I'm an American. There is no American. There's no such thing. It's just made up. It's just something. Well, now we've adapted it because where the people came from another place, the people who were here, we should ask those people if you can find them. They've been destroyed, killed, humiliated. The same way the lynching was taking place. Remember, to get rid of black people, say don't come over to this area or stay in this area. Well, this is what they did to the people who were here on this land before we got here. They killed all those people. They left a small few, but that few knew stay in this area, because if you leave outside of this area, you might end up eliminated or executed or lynched like the rest of the people. Now, you know, because they told us they were all savages. That's what they told us. They had to kill them because they were savages. They were, you know, the bad people doing destroying. But we all know now that that was not the case. The savages were the ones who were exterminating a whole race of people. Well, to do that, you have to use groups of people. See, if there's a war, do you think that Congress, the Senate, the Parliament, the Prime Minister, these people, the Emperor, you think they're going to fight? No, they're sending your children. They're sending your children. They're not fighting. They're not standing in the face of any bullets. They're not doing that. We all know that. This is nothing new. We all understand that. So they're sending your people. And their people, the ones who are a part of what? A ruling political class, an elite political class, a king, a queen, the royal family, whatever they want to call themselves, they're not going to go do that. Now, me, I have a problem with that because I didn't start it. I don't know those people. I don't know. You keep talking about protection. I don't see what protect from what. Maybe if you weren't doing so many bad things to people, you wouldn't have to worry about protection. But let's just set that aside. The main point is that there is a group of people who promote these activities. In this case, what? The lynchings. And history tells us who these people are, and it hasn't changed. Just like the people that came over here in the beginning, they were wealthy people. That you just like now, you don't have money to pack up and go any place. You can't just pack up and go. You don't have the money to do that. And if you did, you have to save up, and oh my God, it's going to cost so much money. Then you got to resettle. But now, when you have enough money to where you can go yourself anytime you choose, but you can also send groups of people because you can finance their expedition, their relocation. And then you go there and you say, okay, look, I'm going to finance you. You get everything going. I'll send you money, get it all going. Once you get it going, you send me back my money. That's a small group of people, an elite group of people. Not elite meaning they're better than you or me, because they're not. Only if you think they are. I know they're not. But this group of people, they were the same group of people who, just like they could send people over here, they could send people out to lynch you. You never see them. You don't talk about them. The focus is on the person who did the lynching. But you can always tell in the past, before the internet, before all of the television, the radio, you can tell because they actually would show up to see their handiwork. So let me show you a picture when we talk about who's committing these lynchings. Let me show you who's committing it. Take a look at this. Okay, do you see in this picture? Do you see in this picture? You see how well dressed these people are? Look at them closely. All suits. Back then, 1920s, 1930s, roaring 20s, remember? People with money, no doubt if they have money, more than likely, they have good jobs, they're probably business owners, they have money, they overnight. Now, what you don't see, but it's there, There are vendors there. Yeah, I think I gotta find it. I don't know if it were in here, but somewhere in here they talk about that people were actually they like a in where I'm from we had a thing called Taste Fest. And at the Taste Fest, all the vendors would come out and they'd line along the streets, and people would come and everybody would taste all the different vendors' foods. During the time when these people were watching and waiting, oh, it's somewhere in here. I remember in here, the people would get there early, like tailgating. They get there early to wait for the lynching of a black person, black man, black woman, black children, whatever. And they would sell food. They'd make sure they eat first. And if they didn't, the vendors, they'd all be at the restaurant. So people, this was an organized situation. Now, let me show you. I want you to take a look at this next photo. I want you to see it. Look at these. Look at this. Okay. Did you see that? Look closely. I'm going to try to blow it up so that you can see. You see the little girl? Looks like she's laughing or smiling or happy. Some people say, well, maybe she's really upset. She don't look upset to me, but maybe to you. But that is the theme. They brought their little girls. These girls, 5 years old, 6 years old. And I think in this picture, I think it's all girls. Little girls. Now, what kind of people? What kind of people? And you see the large crowds I just showed you. What kind of people are these that to bring their people? This is not the World Series. This is not the NBA. This is not, these are actual public executions that all of these people want to come out and see. This is where we're living. These are the ancestors of these people of today. Okay? Person lives, the well-off, the rich lives 80 years old, 90 years old, sometimes 100. That means the person might have been born in 1920. They're still alive today or dying. They might be out of their mind. And some people say, but they might be out of their mind. I was talking about they keep putting all this stuff on Biden, saying he's losing it. That's them saying it. It's not me. But I'm just saying. So if a person is born in 1920, even if they died in, say, 2000, so let's say they lived to be 80, 85, they were taught by them people. Their values, just like you teach your children, I teach my children, their values were given to them and their morals by people who were committing these lynchings. Yeah. Yeah. So, and their grandchildren. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So you see here, little girls in these pictures. Now, what does that tell you? Well dressed, hats, everybody gathered around in such. These were the leaders of the community, the leaders of the government. And these leaders, if you look carefully up in the pictures I showed you, there are people up there actually getting the rope together. They got the man. They hold. Those people are the leaders of the community. They send the police. Now, I want to show you so you understand. When I say they send them, they work together. The chief of police doesn't do anything without letting the mayor know. Right? If you live in a big city, the chief of police appointed by the mayor or so forth or whatever, they work together. If he does something wrong, the mayor will fire him or whatever. Okay, all right. So now you understand, you see all these people, upper class, well-dressed, they got their kids. These are the people, this is the elite members of society who are doing this, and they're sending out the police officers. They work together. Now let me show you. Take a look at this. Do you see what this says? Do you see what this says? This says that they're going to, I think it's 3,000 people are going to lynch this brother. Now understand something. This brother is already in jail. He's already captured. Remember, we got to let the process play out. Let the process play out. Remember all that? That's because back then, they didn't let the process play out, and everybody got wise to it, caught on it. It's freedom and democracy and judge and free, innocent till proven guilty. All lies. They never let that play out. They just go get the people and lynch them. Look carefully. Look, this is a newspaper. What this means? This is being printed. Now look down here. I showed you. You see, it says 3,000 will lynch this brother, and then on the side it says he's nervous about what's about to happen. He's nervous. He's jerky. Okay, well, now, look further down. Check this one out. Look here. Now, you see what it says? We will lynch this brother today at 5 o'clock. Today at 5 o'clock. The brother's in jail, so that means he's in police custody. The police are there. Okay, the police are there. They have him in custody. He's not sitting in an office on a chair having some soup. No, he's in a cell behind bars, whatever they use to confine the person. So they have warning that this mob is coming. Now, that means the police station knows they're coming. The media, the newspaper, they know they're coming because they pressed it. They called them and told them, or they went and met with them. They probably were all together because remember, they're all the same people. Hey, look, man, look. Let's let everybody know we're coming. That way we get a large crowd of people. People will show up. They know what time it's going to go down. That gives the vendors a chance to get all their stock ready, their supplies, so they can have adequate stuff for the people. They can make money. It's going to be nice, man. You know, like a picnic. Picnic. You know what that nick was, right? Okay, so you see it in the paper, openly. Now look down at the bottom. Look real close. I'm going to try to blow it up for you. Look down at the bottom. It says the governor can't do anything. He's powerless. He can't do nothing. I can't do anything. The governor can't do anything. Back then, did they have multiple police force? Like, let's say you in this city, wherever this is happening. The city, neighboring city, did they have other police officers? What about the other county? Can't they deputize people? I've heard they can do that. Maybe a militia, a good militia, because militias are supposed to be good, right? Oh, we're protecting the Constitution and the people, and we're the citizens of the people. We're supposed to be good. But y'all can't seem to come together to help protect this man when you got hours early notification. And the governor, who's looking at the paper, says that he can't do anything. In other words, this is going to happen. Now, that I just showed you. Remember I was telling you in the beginning about proof? I was just telling you. They work together. All the people, the community, 3,000 people. There's one I'm going to show you later, 5,000 people. But they said 3,000 people, everybody coming together. And we're going to get this brother at 5 o'clock. They could have moved the brother without telling anybody to protect him, to protect the system. You know, the lady holding, she's standing there. She got blindfold justice. They could have packed the dude up, taken him someplace else, didn't tell nobody. Protective custody. You remember? They could have done that, but they didn't. They didn't do any of that. So they lynched this brother. Now I'm just showing you, it's the ruling class. How many of y'all hang out with the governor? The president? Do y'all go like to Buffalo Wild Wings with him? Do you go to the local pub with the president? Do you do that? No, you don't do that. No, you don't know these people. They're the elite ruling class. So the governor is a part of the elite ruling class. Chief of police, head of the police, they're all a part of the ruling class. They are following the orders of the ruling class. They're in close contact with them. They follow. Do you understand? So these people are together, and all these well-off people that you see in this picture, they're all for maintaining the system. And to maintain the system requires that they lynch a black person to let the black people know back then you got to stay in your place. And when they destroyed the black neighborhoods, they didn't say we're only going to get the poor people. No, they went and got well-off black people to let them know we don't care. We don't care that you rose up in your group, or that you, even if we appointed you and gave you a position, you still one of them. You're not one of us. You never gonna be. You're not getting in. Now, just a side note, the lady Ann Coulter, she just told that dude to his face on public television, the same way they lynched our brother here publicly in front of us. Yeah, you're bright, you're a smart guy, I like you, but I was never gonna vote for you. You're an Indian. Okay, if you just dumb enough to believe in all of this kind of, voting and I'm with you, then you're a fool. Okay, so let's continue on. So as you know now, it's the ruling class, the governor is part of it. They're all together. Police station, everybody gonna let these people come grab this brother and kill him. Now, that was back then. Here's how you know it's a modern day lynching today. When you see these brothers killed, and sisters, and children, and elderly, and they're killed, we're told let the process take its course. They'll roll the preachers out, tell you that. No, be peaceful, be peaceful. Let the process take its course. Okay, so this is what they tell you. And when they tell you that, the process is the same process that you just saw, where the governor says nothing. I'm helpless to do anything. So then now the police, in this case, the police are the lynchers. They're the one that's committing the crime. They're going to investigate themselves. That's what's happening. They're going to investigate themselves. And they're going to always say, no, my guy was good. And why was he good? Because he did what we told him to do. This is what he did. Okay, okay, wait a minute. No, we're not happy with that investigation. We want to take it to the Department of Civil Rights. His civil rights have been violated. Department of Justice or whatever. The federal people. They're the same people. They're those people that I just showed you, though. The upper class people. They got the good jobs, work for the government. They talk to the boss. They talk to the They tell them this is how you got to do it. Do it this way. Now, you saw that in Ahmaud Arbery. They weren't getting ready. If that video wouldn't have come out, they weren't getting ready to let that happen. The lady who's the attorney general or whatever she wasn't getting ready to let that come out. She wasn't going to prosecute these people. And you have a history of that. All of these people that you see came out to look at these lynchings. Those are the same people who sit in the jury back then. They were the same people who sit in the jury. That's why there were very few convictions against a black person or convictions against a white person for doing harm to a black person. Now, do you think that has changed? Oh, you think because every now and then they give you one or two and they say, no, they have to give you one or two. They always do that, one or two freedoms. They have to give you that because you have to mix in some truth with your great lie so that public relations wise, you look good. You look like this is plausible. It's believable. See, because here's the truth. Well, that over there is so questionable. Yeah, but over here, for example, our good brother, and we can really talk more about that in another video, but just let me mention to you. Did you notice the police officer who killed our young brother? When I'm talking about Brother Fortson, I'm talking about now, modern day lynching. He first, what? Looked at the door, listened, didn't hear anything, listened again, didn't hear anything. Then he knocked, didn't say anything, didn't announce who he was, stepped back. Now they telling you sneakily, because remember they're together, but that's part of policy to get out. Okay, no problem. Then when he finally knocks and the brother opens the door, yes, the brother has his weapon, he's in his home, he's entitled to hold his weapon. What's wrong with that? Ain't nothing. Remember this, The super predator police are they're trained, they're brave, they're with courage, valor. Okay, well, no gun was pointed at you. You show your courage. There was no yelling. You didn't hear any dividing. There was nothing going on. Dude simply opened just said, okay, how can I help you? And to show you, I want y'all to pay close attention to this video. Did you notice when he was banging on the door? Open up, sheriff! Sheriff, open up! He yelling. Okay. All right. So the guy opens the door. Step back. Calm, peaceful, quiet. Step back. He didn't step back, step back. Don't, none of that. None of that. He said it quietly. He didn't really want the brother to step back. He didn't want that. No, he said it quietly so that the brother would, be there. And then he shot him. Do you understand? He shot him. Now he shot him. Now listen carefully. He was less than 10 feet away from the dude. They were standing face to face. He saw the gun pointed down. Man's finger, not on the trigger, and just to you, Ben Crump. You put up a video, man, what are you, a clown? Get your life together, brother. You talking about you helping somebody. You circled the picture of the dog as you said, well, he got his hand off the trigger, the hand going down, and you got the red circle around his dog. You should have had the red circle around his hand, clown. But we'll get back to that. The whole point is this brother, this police officer, protect and serve. He protected and served in that ruling class I was just telling you about. To send the right messages, modern day lynching. He, looking directly at the brother, shot him 6 times. Then after the brother fell down, he said, drop your gun, drop your weapon, drop your weapon, drop your weapon. Do you remember? Now use your common sense and stop being victims to these people telling you all this crazy stuff. He shot him point blank range, face to face. And you heard the brother say, I don't have the gun. It's over there. It's over there. The brother was saying that laying down after being shot. Clearly, the police officer, the white man, the white dude who shot him, he could see that. He shot him. In order to shoot him in the chest, you looking down the barrel of the gun, you looking down the scope, you see, you shoot, you see everything that happens in front of you. You weren't behind the car, around the corner, behind the tree. You weren't 30 feet away. No, you were right there. You saw the gun fall down. So you knew he didn't have a gun. So now ask yourself, people, why is there a need to say drop your weapon when you can clearly see that he didn't have a weapon? See, he got so happy, so excited to do his lynching that he lost track of his reasoning. He lost track of the order of things and how they were supposed to go. If the guy had the weapon and you were afraid of the weapon, the first thing supposed to come out of your mouth is drop your weapon. Now listen carefully. Drop your weapon is supposed to precede the shooting. You only going to shoot after you gave the warning to decide. Do you understand what this brother did? This is a flat out lynching right here on public TV. Now, I want you to understand. Remember I told you I'm going to prove it to you. Remember back in the day, I just showed you all these pictures. And what were these people doing? They were all gathering around. Let me show you. I'm going to show you so you can see they were all gathering around to actually see it live. Because there was no YouTube. There was no cell phone to get it. They had to come physically to see the killing of the black person. Now look at what the people were saying back then. Check this out. You see what they were saying? They were saying that they come, these their own talking about, one of their own talking about the crowd. He was saying that they want to come and see blood and that thirst, but they want to see a black body. You see? This is what's happening today. You and I, we're talking about this right now. But they're watching on all of their videos They're watching on their cell phones. They're watching on their laptops. They're watching on their TV screens. And you remember, like I told you, that senator or congressman or whatever it was saying, we have a beer. Yeah, and they laugh and they sitting back talking about it and everybody watching. Even the broadcast, I'm probably going to do a video on this too. But they said they broadcast the whole funeral all over the world. As if that's some noble thing. And then they tried to use what happened to Emmett Till to do it. Understand something, Emmett Till, they broadcast that because of the extreme disfiguration to his body. So the mother wanted to show the world how violent these people are. These very same people I just showed you in this picture, all of this elite group, they wanted to show you how violent these people are. You understand? Do you understand? So here, this is the entertainment. All of the white networks, and just show you this YouTube situation is wild. You know, whenever these things jump off and you search it out, you look for it, the first thing that comes up is all their channels. All of theirs, so they can put out the narrative. It jumps up CNN, MSNBC, all this over and over again, all these people. Then they slowly start to bleed in some of the independents and all these different people that they've already chosen and say, why? Because they're going to let them make the money. They're going to let them get the viewership. Do you understand? Even their algorithms are probably set up in a very certain way to dissuade viewership from other people, because remember, they're paying them. So I hope that you've seen a swell. I just showed you how they say openly back then that this is what they want to do. Do you think that has changed? No, they want to view. They want to see. They're the ones putting out the Hollywood movies with death and destruction and carnage and gross and vulgarity and all. That's them, not you. You don't control any of the television, the movies, the radio, the lyrics. They even tell the actors and the singers and the writers, they tell them, you submit it and they got a guy to look over. Now you're going to have to change this. No, this right here. Now this good. Hey, look, we're only going to promote this kind of thing because this is what sells. You understand? So you have to be very, very, very careful. Now, back then, the ruling class, they worked with the police, as I showed you. They worked with the governor, and as I showed you. This is them. This is not me. This is in their own paper. It's their own paper. Now, you can take the view to it, or I can't do anything. You hear now what they tell you. If you don't calm down, the kids protesting at the universities, and in the case of us back in the 50s and the 60s, if you don't go back and calm down, we send a National Guard to crack your head. But they're not going to send a National Guard to crack the heads of those people. Not those people. They got a problem now. They're having to deal with it. But remember, this issue is based on brown people. And sometimes they're gonna crack a few white heads too, just to let the people know that, no, see, we don't discriminate, which is really a crazy argument. No, see, we didn't do anything, but we dropped the bomb there. But I heard one of these politicians actually say that, talking to somebody about the bombing, the indiscriminate bombing, killing of women and children in Israel, that, well, why are you going to tell the Israel people that they're wrong for bombing? We bombed the people in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. We bombed them. We killed, many people when we dropped the bomb. It's a nuclear bomb. It killed everybody. So why are you going to tell them they're wrong when we did it? Do you hear that argument? Do you hear that argument? And people fail to bring that up. They just let all these people just talk. They eliminate the past. So I want you to understand the past is here now. It's the present. And what you're seeing are modern day lynchings for all of these people to take a look and see what's going on. The entertainment for the ruling class, these people. Listen, this is not me. This is in their own stuff. You can look at it. They got it all over. You can Google it. You can see. Now, here's one of the most alarming things, and I want to show you this. Remember I told you they're making money on this. Take a look at this lady. I want to show you this. I'm going to show you they're actually doing this now. Look at this. Okay, you see this sister? she's hanging. This is a woman. She got kids. They hung her son too. They, I'll just tell you, they say that they killed a police officer. They killed a deputy, and the woman, I guess, was trying. I guess the deputy was doing something to the mother, and the son came out and killed the deputy. That's the story. But remember, you never really know, because back then, particularly back then, and even now, they call it a narrative. They tell a whole different story, and before you know it, the black person is really the person who committed the crime, and it was justifiable to kill him. This is what we're going through, just like they're getting ready to do our brother right here. So this picture you're looking at, the picture is a postcard that they were selling, and that little handwritten stuff is the copyright, so that the brother could sell it and sell it all over the world. And this is what these people would send to each other. It wasn't, they didn't print these, it's more than one in here, but they didn't print these postcards because they weren't selling. They're capitalists. If people want to see it, just like when they would hang these people, they'd come and they'd get souvenirs, an ear, a leg, a finger, or whatever. They get, just like they hang it up on the wall. You got the deer and the moose, and this is who these people are. And these people are not going to change, and you have to understand that, and you have to start telling your people. Now, I'm just not giving you this for nothing. There's something you're supposed to be doing about it, men. There's something you're supposed to be doing about it. Okay, so you see here that what has happened in the past is still happening today. Now, I told you this was a postcard. Today, they're still selling those postcards today. I want you to take a look at this. Okay. You see, right here, there's this group, and I looked them up to see who the owner was, and it's a W dude. He's selling these postcards today. Yeah, you can order a postcard or a picture of this postcard, whatever. You can order this picture of this postcard from this brother. I think it's $22 or $20 or something like that. I just couldn't believe it that they're selling it today. If he had any kind of morality, these people, then he wouldn't even sell that. Remember, the people got together and was complaining because you had the picture of an Indian, Native American on the side of a football helmet. Even at the Seminoles, Florida State, Now, I told you, and I'm going to do it, I'm going to try to find the material on it. They used to sell postcards of an alligator and a little black baby. That's these people. So this is happening today. The lynching is still going on today. It's just the modern day lynching. They don't go to the public square, everybody hang them from the neck. No, they don't do that. They don't print it all up in the paper with the pictures and threat. No, they don't do that. What they do is now they put it on YouTube for everybody to see it. And they put it on all the news stations and everybody, and we all watch it all over the world. And and everybody sits back and laugh. But they don't want to do anything about it. And they're never going to do anything about it. And we're going to talk about what to be done, because there's a great deal of miseducation about training. Oh, they're being trained. No, they're not. They're being trained to do exactly what they're doing. That's why they're doing it, and they're doing it very well. This is their training. Some of them openly come out and tell you, well, you're trained to eliminate the threat. And so all they have to do is say, well, every black person I see is a threat. Back then, I think you guys should look, one of them politicians, I don't remember which one it was. I believe it was it Hillary Clinton? I don't know. Y'all go look it up. But they said they're super predators. Just like they said the natives of America before they killed them. They said they were savages. And so then what? You can treat them savagely. Go look at Amos. He told you all about it. It's true. It's happening right now. Thugs and criminals and all of this. So it's okay to lock them up. Don't have a trial up to you. And just kill them. Modern day lynching. Just like back then, the governor, I can't do anything about it. Now the people say this is not, well, The grand jury decided there was no need to, so my hands are tied. Do you understand? It's the same process taking place. Their first job is to deny that a lynching took place. Then to justify, you look at one of the pictures I showed you, on the top it says, as they're getting the man ready and prepping the brother, you see the brother standing there, they got justice. Because they're getting ready to hang him. That's justice for them. So all of you talking about we got to get justice. No, you never going to get no justice. I told you before, you lost your loved one. You're not getting any justice. Maybe since they say justice is taking the life of that brother, maybe they should take the lives of the people who take the lives of these people innocently. But they can't do that because that means they have to admit guilt. And they're not going to do that. They're never going to do that. They're never going to do that. Now, understand, back then, all those people who were watching the lynchings, in the suits and the hats, the nice clothes, that was their uniform. They're coming to a lynching. They got their uniform on. They're businessmen, elite suits. They got their uniform on. The police, they have their uniform on. The modern day, they have their uniform on. Just like they lynched us in the past, today they're lynching us now. Uhuru, y'all take care. I'll talk to you soon.